Well, hello there, and welcome back to an exciting Week 8 in the NFL. I'm your host, the Sports Swami, and we have a really exciting week for you planned. First, we'll review last week's predictions, and then we'll get right into the Week 8 predictions. Be sure to stay tuned for the end of the video because we have an exciting surprise for you for Thursday Night Football. That's for all you subscribers who got in here early and caught this on Wednesday. Well, we did pretty well in Week 7. We came in with 12 wins and 3 losses. That's in our overall picks. And on our Swami picks, we came in with 6 wins and 1 loss. The 1 loss was that Los Angeles Chargers-Arizona game where they had the last-minute field goal. Otherwise, we would have had a much better week. A few bumps along the way were the Patriots game where we were a little bit over-optimistic on Drake May's performance, and the Seattle-Atlanta game, which really threw us off because we thought they were pretty well matched, but Seattle was traveling across country, and that usually is a tough game to play. Looking at it overall, we did pretty well, 12-3 and 6-1 with our Swami picks. Now, without further ado, let's get right into this week's picks. Our first game up is the Minnesota and Los Angeles Rams game, which we think is pretty close to call. Normally, we would say Minnesota would win this, no problem. However, they just played Detroit, and every team that plays Detroit seems to lose the week after because they get pretty beaten up. It's also a short week for them, so not only did they play Detroit, but they also only have 4 days to recover and get ready for the next game. But in spite of all that, we still think that Minnesota is going to take the game. They should win by a good margin, but we say take Minnesota on the money line. Our next game up is Philadelphia at Cincinnati. And while our numbers show that Philadelphia should have a slight edge in this game, our pick is going to be Cincinnati on the money line. We think that the Bengals are playing really well, and we don't have that confidence in Philadelphia, although their offense seems to be recovering a little bit. So we're putting a lean on Cincinnati, and we recommend taking Cincinnati on the money line. The next game up is Baltimore at Cleveland, and we do believe that Baltimore will take this game handily. There's a lot going on at Cleveland, getting rid of Amari Cooper, having Deshaun Watson go down. And even though they're bringing in Bailey Zappi, we don't think he'll be able to handle Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So we're saying take Baltimore on the money line, and that's also one of our first Swami picks for the week. The next game up is Tennessee at Detroit, and we think that this is an easy win for Detroit, and we recommend taking Detroit on the money line. The fact that DeAndre Hopkins was just traded from Tennessee doesn't help the team any. We recommend going with Detroit, and that's one of our Swami picks for the week. Take Detroit on the money line. The next game up doesn't quite feel right, but we're going with our numbers on this one. It's Arizona visiting Miami, and Miami's offense has been anemic at best. It's always hard for teams to play down in the South, but it's cooling off a little bit now in Florida. So we do think that Arizona will take the game. We think that Arizona is on a bit of a roll after last week's win with the Chargers. So we do recommend taking Arizona on the money line. The next game up are the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. And we think the way to go on this one is the New York Jets on the money line. We don't have much confidence in the Patriots. We think that the Jets offense will rebound a little bit after last week's anemic performance, and we are recommending that you go with the Jets on the money line, and that is a Swami pick for the week. But they are the Jets, and one never knows. The next game up is Atlanta at Tampa Bay. And before the events of last week, we would have recommended Tampa Bay on this one. However, with the injury to Chris Godwin and Mike Evans still being a little hamstrung, we do recommend going with Atlanta. They've had a bye week. They should be well rested, and this is an important divisional game. So we recommend taking Atlanta on the money line. The next game up is Green Bay visiting Jacksonville. And Jacksonville's coming off that 3-week European vacation, so they're going to be a little bit slow. Green Bay is playing well, and we do expect Green Bay to win this game outright. So take Green Bay on the money line. That's one of our Swami picks for the week. The next game up is Indianapolis visiting Houston. And while we think this is going to be a lot closer than other people predict, we are recommending that you take Houston on the money line. The next game up is a pretty solid bet. It's New Orleans visiting the Los Angeles Chargers. And while the Chargers let us down last week, we do expect them to rebound at home, playing New Orleans, who's really beat up and has a lot of problems with their injuries. So this one is going to be take Los Angeles on the money line, and that's one of the Swami bets for the week. The next game up is Buffalo playing at Seattle. And while this seems to be a very obvious play to play Buffalo to win, remember that Buffalo is traveling across country and Seattle is playing really, really well. Unfortunately, we're not sure of the status of DK Metcalf, so we are recommending take Buffalo on the money line. The next game up is a pretty easy one. It's Carolina traveling to Denver. We do expect Carolina to have problems with the altitude as well as with the Denver defense. So we do recommend taking Denver on the money line, and that is a Swami pick of the week. The next game up is Kansas City visiting Las Vegas, and we do recommend taking Kansas City on the money line. This should be a fairly easy game for Kansas City, and the fact that they just added DeAndre Hopkins to the team certainly doesn't hurt. So feel comfortable taking Kansas City on the money line, and that is a Swami pick of the week. The next two games up are really going against our numbers a little bit. Our simulation shows Washington having a slight edge, not only because it's a home game, but they've just been playing lights out on offense. However, we do expect Chicago with a bye week to come back strong. Their defense will be strong. Caleb Williams will be strong, and we recommend you taking Chicago on the money line. The next game up is one of the games of the week. It's Dallas visiting San Francisco, and while this is a historical clash that always proves interesting, normally we would give San Francisco the edge, but with Brandon Ayuk going down and Debo being in the hospital with pneumonia this week, there just doesn't seem to be enough horsepower on the offense. Since Dallas is coming off of a bye week, we recommend taking Dallas with the 5.5 points. The next game up is going to be a hard-fought battle. It's the New York Giants visiting Pittsburgh. And the Steelers are playing very well these days. We'll have to see how Russell Wilson does in his second start. But I do expect Pittsburgh to win. And so I would recommend taking Pittsburgh on the money line. And that is a Swami pick of the week. So just to review, Baltimore on the money line, Detroit on the money line, the Jets on the money line, Green Bay on the money line, Los Angeles Chargers on the money line, Denver on the money line, Kansas City on the money line, and the Pittsburgh Steelers on the money line are our Swami picks of the week. Now is a special bonus for you guys who stayed till the end. We've got a FanDuel Parlay for the Thursday night football game, which I'll put up on the screen right here. It's pretty self-evident what we're doing. We're betting low on a lot of players, and we're combining quite a few picks, but we should get a nice 24x on that. We've had pretty good luck with these, so we thought we'd provide that as a little extra service. And we'd like to thank everyone for watching and ask you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and please feel free to comment in the section below. We've changed the format a little bit, fixed the microphone issue from last week, so we do listen to your comments and we do appreciate them. And stay tuned for all of our videos that'll be coming out. As you can see, the record's holding up pretty well, and we're hoping you can make some money on this. Thanks for watching, and have a good and profitable week.